Hey guys, it's me again, Workslayer. What ifs? Where we last left off, let's see. Checking. Where we last left off, Death, War, Strife, and Fury all have gone to the not sports festival, the summer camp. So, alright, you stay quiet. It's bedtime. Talking to dogs. Again. They're, speaking with the dog. Not speaking with the dogs, damn it. They're talking with everyone. Deku's resting. And when they get there and when Deku goes to give Koda his food, he actually starts questioning him and he reveals to him that, yeah, kid, your parents weren't human. They were angel and a demon. Also, Togiyami was there too. Because he followed Deku wanting to know what more. So with this big reveal, Togiyami's like, I was right. I thought my edginess was just kicking in again. But as they talk about, Deku explains to Koda that Nephilim are physically powerhouses, not all of them, compared to one another. As he's like, oh, so I'm not that powerful. He's like, no, kid, you could easily probably kill most people on this earth with a good bit of training. Ask Strife. As he's like, Strife. As she's like, hello. She's like, yeah, I'm not the strongest, nor is Fury. We're not the strongest out of any horseman by far. Now to go to war, he's physically the strongest. And War can take down entire armies by himself, kid. So it'd be a good idea to learn from him, as he's like, I will mold you into a person worthy of calling themselves Nephilim. As he's like, I don't wanna. He's like, sorry, Koda, you're gonna have to do this regardless. It ain't gonna be fun. It's like, oh. We'll start tomorrow. As he's like, wait, what? No, wait, War's like, we'll start right now. What? Give me push-ups. As Koda's like, what do you mean, push up? As that's just how they leave him. As Deku's walking away, he's like, alright, Togiyami. It's late, so you can ask some of your questions. Togiyami's like, what's it like being a Nephilim? He's like, it's pretty weird, but also kind of cool at the same time. Next, he's like, what do you think about today's society? As Deku takes a moment to think, it is not entirely what we envision with the villains and heroes, but it is with how humans were before, it's a far cry. Or with how humans before were a far cry of what we have now. So that's a good thing, I guess. What about the other, angels and demons? He's like, oh, they know we're here, and they're constantly they want to stay neutral. Samaya, though, he comes around every now and then with something to do that threatens Earth. It's like, okay, well, what do you think about your siblings? He's like, they're all pretty good. Misguided and idiotic at times, but they're good. It's like, what do you think of All Might? As he's just going on with question after question after question, because he's like a fanboy at this moment. Because like All Might, the four horsemen are idols. They're idols to most of the humans on Earth, and sometimes they're even idols for other creatures out there. So as he's talking about Deku, they go on with the events. Deku and them are not just when it comes to the whole not scary, the test of courage. Deku and them, yeah. Deku can sends out his crow, see what you can find. As it's flying around, it spots the villains as Deku alerts. As he alerts Aizawa and the rest of them, saying, we have villains in the area. I suggest we take all the students and shepherd them somewhere safely. He's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, we'll do what we do best. As he summons his weapons, he's like, we'll go deal with them. It's like, War can handle a good bit of him. Same thing with not War. He's not calling him War. He's like Ida and the rest can handle, and the other two can handle whatever is thrown at them. I'm going after the big boss, or whoever seems to be leading this raid. As they split off, War is like, as Mandalay's like, wait, where's Koda? As Koda went back up to his place, War's like, I'll go find him. You deal with whatever's coming our way. As he uses his quirk to sprint off. As it's like, alright, Momo and Mina, you guys go check on the other, like, where the other students are and our friends. Oh god, this is all turning into a mess. As Mandalay's kind of freaking out. Because she has no, like, all the students are spread out at this point. And she's quite scared of what's going to happen if they don't do this correctly. So, following that, they get all the students they can to group up and stay together. While Deku's going down to hunt, quote unquote, the other people. As he comes across Dobby, as he's setting fire to the forest, as Deku's like, I did not expect to find some burnt, mummified looking freak. He's like, oh yeah, you looked familiar. Weren't you one of the ones that helped took down Stain? As it's like, yes. Anything else? As he gets his weapons ready, he's like, well, I'm gonna see what it takes to take you down. As he goes to blast Deku with fire. But of course, Deku's fast enough and moves out of the way. He's like, you're not as strong as some of the other creatures I've fought before. As he's like, well, we'll see about that. As Dobby gets his hands together and throws the massive fireball. It's not easy for Deku to fight Dobby, necessarily. He just has to get close enough to get, like, a strike. And Dobby can't use his flames forever, so, yeah. I'm, like, creating a lot of spit in my mouth because I'm talking so much. Sorry. As we skip over to Ida, as he's like, Kota, as then Muscular jumps down, and now Ida's got to deal with Muscular, which is not fun. As he draws his sword, he's like, Kota, behind me now. As he's like, that little brat, his parents did this. As he, like, shows his eye, he's like, now, show me your blood. As pretty much Ida just takes his fist and punches Muscular in the arm, actually hurting him severely. He's like, damn, it's a good punch you got there. It's like, my turn. As he throws his own punch. As Muscular throws his own punch and actually connects, hitting Ida in the face. That Ida just, like, wipes his mouth. He's like, it's pretty good, not the best. As they go into, like, punching each other, as Ida prepares himself by trying to counter and find the weak spots in Muscular's armor. As he's doing that, Deku's taking down Dobby. As then that weird Nomu comes charging in at Deku as Dobby has to make his getaway. Deku's like, more of these weird creatures. If it wasn't a League of Villains, we know it now. As he cuts it in half, he actually doesn't just cut it in half, he cuts it to ribbons. Oh. Following this, Samson wants my hand by him so he can pet me. Stop it. Stop. I may have to make this. Alright, yeah, I'm probably gonna finish this later. Hey guys, I'm back. So, how's it going with Deku and them? They get their thing done, really. As, Ida's fighting Muscular, and Deku's pretty much eviscerating that Nomu who's currently fighting. We skip over to Mina and Momo. Momo's helping deal with the gas villain. Mustard is his name. And Mina is helping, Mandalay and Tiger deal with, the other two that show up, Spinner and Miss Magna, or Big Sis Magna. So they're really just having to fight and deal with the things. The demons and angels probably aren't going to show up since like I said, they're trying to steer clear of the horsemen. They want nothing to do with them. So they know if they go near them, they're going to get butchered. So that's how that works. God. So, following this, with Deku running around the forest trying to get after any like straggling villains, he comes across Moonfish trying to eat Bakugo and Todoroki. So he comes along and deals with that by cutting Moonfish's teeth as he's like launching them out. Deku just cuts him off as Bakugo's like, knew you'd come around, Deku. As he's like, yeah, shut up. As he keeps cutting around, as he summons his ghouls and other creatures to come and distract Moonfish. He moves in as Moonfish is trying to tear him apart, screaming about his meat, the more meat. Deku gets close enough and just pretty much breaks all the teeth in his jaw with a nice solid punch. As he knocks him out. And he's like, are you too well? He's like, you know, Bakugo, you could have handled that yourself. He's like, oh, I didn't want to steal all the glory from you. He's like, yes. He's like, where's all the others? Have you two seen anyone else? He's like, no, what's happening? He's like, there's a villain attack. It's like, oh. He's like, you didn't know of a thing? He's like, no. He rubs his forehead. He's like, we have technology that you people can call yourselves. We got a person with a telepathic messaging. And you didn't know? As he's just rubbing his forehead, he's like, kids these days. And he's like, what was that, Deku? He's like, nothing. As they hear screaming as they see Dupla Arms running, he's like, run! As he's like, why? He's like, Tokiyami's on a rampage! As they look behind them, as Deku's like, Todoroki, Bakugo, deal with it. As they run past him, creating light, and so they get trapped. They stop him from, killing them. As Tokiyami's like, thank you. As they're like, since the horsemen share a connection, I'm gonna cut back over to Ida, and I don't think I told you guys how that fight ended. He's punching the crap out of Muscular as Muscular tries to get hits in. As he does, scores him as he cracks the armor. As Ida eventually gets fed up with it, takes out his sword and just slices off one of his arms. Slices off one of Muscular's arms, just As he cuts, he starts to feel how hard it is with the muscle fibers. As Muscular had built so much up and they were so strong that he had used quite a bit of force to even get halfway through it. As then he did cut into Muscular's arm. Quite a bit. Muscular's like, I said show me your blood. As he hits Ida, as Ida gets hit, he spins around and goes deep for the Achilles tendon on Muscular's leg. As he strikes true, as Muscular immediately falls down. As Ida takes his sword and just removes the head. As he's like, Koda's like, I don't think you're allowed to do that. He's like, well, he's a villain. He's trying to kill us. There are exceptions. Let's get you over to them. As he summoned not Strife. Give me a second. As War summons Ruin, he's like, get on. As Ruin's looking at the little kid, as he's just like, it's like, don't take sass with me. As he hops on his back and picks up Koda, he's like, come on. As they ride off to where the rest of, where Mandalay is, and Mina, and Tiger. As he shows up, he drops Koda off. He's like, he comes across Aizawa first. He's like, Aizawa, take Koda. I must report to Mandalay and tell him of the coming threat. It appears they're after Nobody, actually. Since they're not after anybody, since Bakugo didn't show, like, his deep-sided anger, they don't really think about anybody getting captured. So as he runs off, he's like, I will assist Mandalay and Tiger if they need any help. Oh, and also, here, a villain's dead, by the way, up on the cliff. As he's riding off, I was like, wait, a villain's dead. Wait, don't tell me you... As he runs off, he's like... Man, that kid's annoying. As we cut over to Mandalay dealing with Spinner and Miss Big Sis Mag, with Mina actually just taking the two of them down, helping taking the two of them down. As they're celebrating their little victory, War comes over, is like, Miss Mandalay, do you need... Oh, seems you got everything covered here. Very well then, I will find Deku in the system. He's like, that will be... Appreciate it, thank you. So yes, also Kota is safe. Whatever the hero that was trying to, the villain. Sorry, what is up with me today? The villain that's trying to kill him has been put down. He's like, well, thank you. It's like, it is no worry of mine, Miss Mandalay. As he runs off to go help Deku, as they actually do round up almost all the villains as they capture them. With Deku having to deal with, Mr. Compress, because he tries to steal Tokiyami away. He's like, ooh, nice bird, gotta catch 'em all. As he saves Tokiyami, as he takes down Mr. Compress and drags him over to them, he's like, so what happens now? As he's like, we don't know. So, with that, all those villains, like Toga, all of them are captured this night. It was surprising to the other heroes when they finally show up. It's like, how'd you capture all of them? It's like, it was easy. What do you mean it was easy? It's never just easy like that. It's like, yeah, we beat them down. One's dead. And a few of them are missing one limb. Is there a problem here? As they're like, we can't get these kids' heads. Alright, no, never mind. It's fine. As they leave, Deku and them all get done with that. As the heroes, since they don't know since they don't have Bakugo with them, they're still gonna put emphasis on finding the villain hideout since they attacked the UA class once again, and many students were almost hurt badly. As they decide that this will be done, this is gonna be necessary. We're gonna take them down. As that is that. As they break into the hideout with, all of them there, Deku and them are not requested to go there. They're actually just watching it with the rest of the people, since, it's only like Shigaraki, Kurogiri, and All For One are the only ones left. That actually, that are the only ones left. As they are ready to fight, Shigaraki does this thing where he summons a whole bunch of Nomu, and it's still going on like in canon, aside from the fact that there's Bakugo and the other villains there. As we cut over to All For One, as he's tearing up the city, as in this, he is much more powerful. Like, with the usage of magics, he and All Might, he was not as bad since there's a few bit of magics that are outlawed by people, by human standards, that he used, such as blood magic, human sacrifice, stuff like that. As with those, on his side, he was able to heal himself much better. But he still was stuck to hiding, because he still wasn't 100%. So when it came time to All Might to fight him, All Might's getting battered worse than he was before. As Deku and all of them see this, as it's like, what's gonna happen if All Might falls? He's like, he won't. As Deku gets up and summons his armor and stuff, as the other horsemen look at themselves and they're like, alright. So they stand up, crack their necks, and like, what are you guys doing? They all summon their horses, like, what the fuck? As is like, there is no time to explain. As they also open up portals, since that was the ability they had. Or Samael actually appears as like, little horseman, I see you are also interested in what's going on. Oh, sorry if you heard that. That was an alarm going off. Anyways, as he's like, yes, we need to get to him Now, as like, also, you didn't tell us Nephilim were already being born in this world. He's like, did I miss that little detail? As they're like, if you do not teleport to Samael, I will personally take my scythe, and it's like, no need to get so graphic, horseman. There are children present. But very well, as he snaps their finger and all 4 horsemen are zipped away, as it looks like Apocalypse coming down, as All Might's beaten, battered, and bruised. He's like, there's always going to be someone to stop you all for one. He's like, then they'll be crushed as well. As he's like, then I'll crush all of them as well and let everybody know why you do not challenge me. As he's about to strike All Might down, he sees the beams like somewhat of a chaotic flame and crashing as he's blown away a little bit. As Deku and all of them show up, he's like, who are you? As they appear on their horses, as they say, we are the ones who came before. We are the 4 horsemen. As they all like hear the neighing and roaring of the horses, they see them all stand there as they all like say their hero names in order. It's like as it goes from Strife to Deku. Strife, Momo, Ida, Deku. Strife says, I'm Prosperity. Fury says, I'm Harmony. War, or Ida, says, I'm Peace. And Deku says he is Life. As they immediately start charging at All for One, with Deku leading said charge. So he gets his scythe ready and starts using his ghouls. Ida prompts his sword, or prepares his sword, while Strife is just shooting at All for One and riding in circles. He's like, this is most impressive, All Might. It seems even the 4 horsemen have come to rescue you. So he flies up in the air and gets his like quirks ready as he starts using his air cannons and quirk enhancers as he smashes into Deku and War, or Deku and Ida at the same time, as he's like, didn't know the horsemen would be quite this strong, but I am impressed. As they push on, Deku and War being the main combatants when it comes to close quarters, with Fury and Strife taking long range, while Fury's just whipping him at him from a distance as it's like whip, 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 slashing into his back, arms, legs, whatever they can handle. As Shigaraki is most definitely captured at this point, as Strife goes over and just shoots him. Same thing with Kurogiri, as she uses like a special type of energy that stuns him. As they're just taking down All for One, he gets good hits in on Deku and Fury and Ida as well, causing Deku's scythes to fly out of his arms many times, with Deku having to rely on his agility to survive, as War has to rely on his tankiness to survive. As they are dragging this on, All for One sees that he's losing little by little, as Deku takes his scythe and rams it into his ribcage on his right side as he rips it out, with War taking his sword and slamming it deep into his left side kneecap, with Fury taking her whip and slicing him on the face quite a bit, and with, Strife peppering him all over with her bullets. As he goes in to what you could call like a ultimate mode, where he summons all his quirks that he has and floods them through his body, creating this weird monstrosity of a monster made of flesh, metal, anything. As he's like, you will die here by my hands, horseman! As he's raging at this moment, as he is this giant malformed being, Deku's like, everyone, we know what we must do. As they all summon their ultimate forms with Fury, Carnage, Fury, Carnage, Reaper, and all those forms together, as Deku's like, we are death, we are strife, we were death, we were strife, we were fury, and we were war. We will vow to defend the new things, life, prosperity, peace, and harmony. As as Deku flies up and just starts tearing into his arms and armor, anything he can. As he goes for the head, War immediately slams down on his legs, with Fury taking care of the other one, while Strife is just blasting him away with her twin, her LMG and machine guns. As with Deku finally taking the final blow, he slices off All For One's head as he falls down, crushing a decent part of the already destroyed city. As all of them stand there on top of the corpse of All For One, they just start hearing cheering and celebrating the return of the Four Horsemen. As Deku and them walk over to All Might and offer him a hand, and he's like, I guess I can leave it to you then, huh? It's like, we'll do this world justice. We always have. It's like, thanks. As he just says, I'm gonna sleep now. As he falls over, he's like, he ain't dead, is he? He's like, no, he's very much alive. It's not his time now. As they finish off, as they return to UA and are celebrated as heroes, and they're swamped with requests to meet and talk with them. As Nezu says well, and we're gonna skip over a month to half a year ahead, with UA still going on for the normal students. As we cut to Deku, in his words, he's like, after we had dealt with All For One and the truth was revealed to the world about our origins and who we are, it was decided that we had served enough before that they didn't need us to go through the full hero course. So they let us skip ahead and get our licenses. At the moment, we have taken over All Might. Well, not All Might, but each of us have taken to our own part of the world. Strife has gone to America for reasons, as we probably all know. War went to some of the more enraged places where there's combat. And, well, Mina's gone to other places as well. I don't know where she's quite at, but she's traveling the world, supposedly. And me, well, I've stuck around in Japan. Somebody's gotta keep the peace around here. As he gets a call from one of his sidekicks saying, yeah, we got a villain on loose on 21st Street. We need help. He's like, on my way. As he uses his little soul trap, his little grappling arm to launch himself away. So he's like, the horsemen are glad to be back. He's like, and we'll always be here to some extent. And that's where I'm going to be ending this series off. It's a nice little way to end the series, nothing too extravagant. But like I said, I've been wanting to try and cut some series down. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. Hope you guys continue to enjoy us. And to let you know, everything's been taken care of with Eri. Deku literally strolled in there and murdered everybody aside from Eri. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you guys continue to enjoy future series. And I hope you guys have a nice day, nice night, nice life.